ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at Bitcoin Summer. As I promised, we are going to do a surface dive into opening up our Lightning channels. So if you haven't already checked it out, I have a node setup video. It's a setup video for Umbrel. You can go check that out. I have that in the notes, and you can also hit the button on the top here. I think it's right here. It could be right here. It's getting a lot of positive responses, and I'm so happy that you all are enjoying it. And we're going to keep this going by doing a whole series of Lightning videos. So please hit the subscribe and please hit the like button. That helps us be found as well. If you find it helpful, please share it. And let's jump right into it. We're going to do a channel video today. A channel on your Lightning node is a super vital part. It's the way that we can send and receive sats through our node, and a potential way to earn sats through our node as well by routing other people's transactions. If they need to find a pathway through you, you can earn sats. It's not a ton. You usually don't pay for the energy that you use, but if you do it the right way, you might be able to break even. You might even be able to make a profit. It's just very hard to do. Opening up a node, opening up a channel is more about your privacy, more about making the network stronger. It is not a profit-making scheme. So if you're in this to turn a profit and to become very, very wealthy, this is not the way to do it. But who knows, maybe somewhere down the road, when sats are worth a cent or sats are worth $1, who knows? We could potentially be there someday. You could potentially make some passive income off of this. So I dropped some money into my Bitcoin Core on the node, and that is the way that you can start now opening up your Lightning channels. So thank you for joining me today. We're going to jump into 2 different ways to open up channels, and I also touch on a couple troubleshooting issues that I ran into that hindered my progress. So I wanted to share that with all you guys just to save you some time. Let's jump into the video. Okay, as you can see here, we are on our mempool. Here's my node. I have, as you can see, I funded my Bitcoin Core here. And now I want to open up some channels and participate in the Lightning Network. So those sats are sitting, as you can see here, this came in on the mempool. This came in on chain. This is when fees were really high. What a Lightning channel is basically a bar tab. It's a 2-way multi-signature contract. Unlike a bar tab, you can have outgoing and incoming capacity instead of just paying the bartender. And when you open a channel, then you automatically have contact with all of your other partners' partners. So as you start building your node partners, the number of connections that you have grows exponentially. So you can go to this site called 1ml.com, and you can see here mainnet.lightningconductor.net. Pretty highly rated, so I decided to open up a channel with them. So what I did was copy their address from 1ml, created a peer, and you can open up a channel with them. They automatically reciprocate 500,000 sats. You can find your pending channels here on ThunderHub. Remember, these are the transactions taking place on Bitcoin's main chain. So what you see here in the pending pile, that's an on-chain transaction, and that's going to create your Lightning channel. And then you can download the mempool and all of your apps through your node on Umbrel. You can see I chose to open it with 1 sat per byte, and it's already taken 14 hours here. And it says the ETA is going to be several more hours. So what I found out the hard way is that being a cheapskate on the front end can get your transactions stuck. So that's exactly what happened to me. So let me show you how I open the channel. You go to the home page on ThunderHub, and that, again, is another app on the App Store for Umbrel. You're not opening with any new nodes here, so click Manual Open. Not a new peer since we added it previously, so find your partner on the drop-down menu. I'm doing 500,000. It's recommended that you do higher amounts, so not such a large portion of your channel opening will be eaten by fees. They are reciprocating automatically 500,000, so I'm going to stick with that. I can do a little bit more, but they'll only reciprocate 500. And this is where you set your fees. You can hit auto and choose the wait time, and it will automatically use the going rate. Or you can also set a custom fee. And you can set it at the lowest at 1 sat per byte, which would work if I did it right now today because the network is caught up. But as you can see, when I was opening this channel, it was really busy and it stalled out. As you can see here, you do auto and it's 14,000 sats compared to right around 200. I decided to go the cheap route and my transaction got stuck. But let's go through the rest of this node opening process so we can I can show you how to push sats to unlock your transaction. So I'm going to keep it public. I'm going to not do pushing unless you're making a payment at the same time that you're opening the channel. So no push. I'm going to open the channel. Again, this will pop up on your pending channel open page. Here's the transaction. And as you can see, it is hung up. And no sign of relenting. Like I said, if you did it now, it would be fine. So you want to bump your fees through Ride the Lightning, yet another app on Umbrel. I had a really tough time doing it on my phone. So the interface doesn't work with my phone. So I jumped to desktop. So let's do that. We're going to try to bump the fees so that you'll increase your fees so you can bump it up on chain. So we're going to click on the Lightning drop down menu, click on the Peers Channels tab, and go to Pending and then Bump Fee. You'll find this over way to the right here on Actions. I had a really hard time locating the index value, looking up the index for the change value, but it ended up being really simple, so I'm going to go through that right here. Save you guys a bit of time. And open up the Block Explorer app. Dropped in my transaction ID. So here's our transaction here with our two outputs, and one's going into our Lightning channel, and one is the change output, which is going back into our core wallet, and that's the remaining balance. So that's the amount that's going back into your core, and that's the index value that they want. And I didn't know what they meant by that. So I found this really obscure post from 6 years ago, and it explained transaction indices, 0 and 1. So it could only be one of those two options. And in my case, it was literally 1. Literally the number 1 was the index value that I was looking for. So let's go back into our bump fee on Ride the Lightning. I enter 1. I enter the sats per byte that is concurrent with the going rates right now. So I can bump this up. Confirm my fee bump on chain. So here it is. You enter the 1. That's your change output. So that's the index value. So it's the 1, not the 0. And here you go. It says CPFP. That is Children Pay for Parents. And that's my bump fee. And now it will be done in 70 minutes, roughly. So it was only $3 to bump this fee. So I did all of that waiting time, 14 hours, and it would have been even longer if I would have kept it on, for $3. So this is a lesson for people just to not be a super big cheapskate, because look, it's only 7,000 sats. You can get by with doing it a little bit quicker and not being, if the network is busy, don't just do 1 sat per byte. You're going to get stuck and you're going to have to go through this whole process. Now that I've shown you how to do it, it's a little bit less risky and less time consuming, but I would just suggest against it. It's not fun. So let's take a look on my phone and check out my perfectly balanced channel. Mainnet almost immediately reciprocated my channel with inbound capacity. As you can see here, 500 sats, 500,000 sats, and 500,000 sats receive. So that's outbound and inbound capacity. So next we're going to open up a channel with async. They're a really big channel. They have some of the best lowest ratings on 1ML, so I'm going to open up a much bigger channel than I did with mainnet, loop out half of it into my core wallet so my channel will be balanced, and I'll show you all how to do all of that. Loop outs are a little bit more advanced, but I figured it out, so can you. Yeah, like you can see, some of the best ratings for async. Now, it's not recommended to just go ahead and open up a bunch of channels with only big players. As I mentioned earlier, they're already very well established, so they actually don't need you. So they're not going to be routing a lot of payments through your channel because there's really no need. They're already really well connected. So as I find out later while I'm managing my node, this is actually not a really good tactic to open up with these really large channels. Mine has been somewhat successful with async, so I've kept it open, but I just wanted to make that caveat. And it's a good way to show all of you guys how to do a loop out to get inbound capacity on your channel. So here I am. I'm going to be opening up this channel with async. Hit the open here, and I already added them in as a peer. So I'm going to click no, go to the drop-down menu, find async down here. And as you can see, I transferred more Bitcoin into my Bitcoin Core node so I could open more channels and at bigger capacity. So I'm going to do 3 million for this one. I'm just going to go with an hour. Yeah, I'm going to go with an hour here just so the transaction doesn't get stuck like it did last time. Everything remains the same, and then click open channel. And there we are. This channel should be pending in our transaction list. Go check that out under the channels and go click on pending. And there it is. And then you'll see it's 3 million, but you'll see the fees subtracted already. And that'll all sort itself out once the fees are actually calculated. You can see here it's pending on my node. Pending transaction there. Let's check out my Lightning. And as you can see here, 3 million. I can only send 3 million out of that channel. So what I want to do is loop it out so I can receive half of that back. I'm going to do a little bit more just so I have a little bit more inbound. And there's my transaction. It has been confirmed, but we have to wait for more confirmations on the chain. Here we are. Now I'm in the Lightning Terminal app, and you can find that on the Umbrel App Store. So we're going to do a loop out, and that will push your sats into your Bitcoin Core wallet from your Lightning wallet to create inbound liquidity. Here we go. You select loop out. You can loop in, and that will create outbound liquidity. So there's this nice little handy slider bar here to select the sats that you want to loop. I'm going to go slightly heavier on inbound so I can make this transaction a little cheaper percentage-wise. So that's just a little trick to just take down your cost on this loop out, because there are a couple more fees associated with looping, because it's not just the chain fees, but it's also the loop fee for the service. You have to pay for that. So originally it was 2% at 1.5 million sats. And so I'm going to do 1.6 million sats, and it brought it down to closer to 1%, as you can see here. Submit the loop. So as you can see here, the loop was successful. And you see the fees associated with that loop out as well. So what's left over goes into my Bitcoin Core account, and I can open up other channels or put it back into cold storage. You can pop these open when you have your channels open, and here's all the stats. Now, stay tuned, hit subscribe. I'm going to be doing a video on the breakdown of what all of these stats mean. It gets very, very complicated, so I'm going to do my own video on that. So please hit subscribe, and please like and share if you're enjoying this video. Just a note on loopouts, you can actually use another Umbrel app for this. It's called Ride the Lightning. The user interface isn't as pretty as the Lightning terminal, but it's just as functional, and it might be a little bit more... have a little bit more options as far as getting right down to the detail of what you want to do with your transaction. But for the more unsavvy users like myself, I like to use the Lightning terminal. Also, as another side note, looping can get very, very tricky because your partner could have certain limitations on how much you need in order to loop out. So there were a couple channels that I opened that were just the loop out would not go through multiple times, multiple tries, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of why exactly that is. And if any of you all know that out there, please send me a message so I can get the information out to the masses. It gets pretty complicated. As you can see here, there's on-chain failure for loop outs there, and there are just some nodes that you just can't loop out with. It just won't capture the transaction and make that deal. So I want to get to the bottom of that, and we'll just keep you up to date. So there are other better options for finding partners and just not opening up with the biggest channels and doing things like looping out. You can actually just find partners that are willing to do what's called swaps with you. And you can find this on places like Plebnet. That they have a Telegram page, and Plebnet's a super good resource. But I've been using the Lightning Swap, which I will get into detail with this video. So when you're generally shopping for channel partners, there are a few great resources, and one is this Explorer app, this Lightning Explorer, and I'll have all of these links in the show notes and the notes down below as well. And as you can see here, it's a great visualization. You kind of get an idea of where you might want to place yourself to get better routing channels and become a better member of the network. And once you narrow down a certain partner that might look great, you can go on the site that I mentioned earlier called 1ML, and you can go link directly from the Explorer to 1ML. There are a couple other options, but you can get most of what you need to get done when you're channel shopping and partner shopping through these two apps. And you can do it all on your phone, or you can do it on your desktop as well. I show you here an example on the phone. So this is the Lightning Swap. This is at Lightningnetwork.plus. I just found this site. I'm going to try to open up this 2 million sat triangle. So what that means is I open to one person, and then they open up to a second person, and then that second person completes the loop by opening to me for the exact same amount. That way you're perfectly in balance. And also, since it's a 3-person loop, it also increases your channel connections exponentially because you're connected to all of those partners now, and then all of their partners. Number one, so you want to find an open swap. Obviously, you're not going to be able to join the ones that have 0 spaces. So that's step 1. Now we're going to click apply to triangle, or whatever shape you're participating in. There are squares and there are pentagons. There's a bunch of different multiplayer swaps that you can join. You'll find this on the top of the page once you decide to apply for this channel. You can copy that in, open up ThunderHub, and then you can open up a new channel. Step number 4, copy and paste node address of your partner. And number 5, enter your correct SAT amount, the amount that everyone's going to be opening up for, and follow the steps just like I did on a normal channel open before. So I had a problem. I don't know why I had this problem setting it up, but I copied and pasted it. Didn't work that way, so I decided to go into peer management and add the peer first. So here I am adding the peer. I pasted the address and then opened the peer up. And then I went back in and I found them on the drop-down menu and repeated the steps that I just went through. And here we are, found it there, put in my 2 million sats. I'm going to do auto fees. I'm going to go fastest and open the channel. And there it is. We're opened up. And of course, you can go in now. You can find your pending channel. And you can pull the drop-down box and go find it on chain on the mempool. Then when that transaction clears, you can go back into the Lightning website and you can click Channel Open Complete. You can let the other partners know, and you can maybe even send them a little message. There's a nice little messaging system at the bottom of the channel page as well, the swap page. All right, let's go into my channels. Here's my incoming and outbound capacity for the triangle. Completely balanced channels. Let's pop back into our Lightning swap triangle because someone's node failed and they asked to be replaced, as you can see here. Now, it was really, really cool because the admin of the site stepped in, he filled in the spot, and we didn't have to worry about it, and we didn't have to find another partner on the website. So it was really cool customer service on this site, and I would suggest if you have problems with it, the admin over there is super fantastic and super responsive. So you can email him too and direct message him on Twitter as well. So as you can see here, so in the chat, sometimes they're going to be talking about setting your fees at different levels, and some people want you to all as a group set your fees at the same level. And we're going to be doing fee adjustment management later on down the road, and that's going to be a whole video in and of itself because it gets really complicated as well. And what I'm finding out is you really don't want to just set it and forget it. You really want to go with the direction of the traffic. So we'll get into all of those crazy details later. But suffice it to say right now, this video should give you ample enough options to open up channels. As you can see, I started from 0, and now it's a fairly functional routing node. It's not crazy busy, but as your node matures, you can get more and more transactions through your node. So thanks for watching the video today. Like I said, hit subscribe, hit like, and share with all the people that you can. And watch out for more of these node videos and node tutorials coming down the pike. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. So some people are hiding these in their closets, just out of sight, out of mind. There's a bunch of cords going everywhere. Some people want them out on display. There's a bunch of different options for display if that's what you're into. We are lucky enough here on Bitcoin Summer to have our first show sponsors in NodeNook. Go check out nodenook.com. You can save 6.15% right now using promo code BTB. Really, really cool handmade products here. A bunch of different designs. There's even a 4th of July one for us here in the US. As you can see here, 3 ports for your cords. Easy, super easy setup. They look amazing. Put in your USB first, then your power cord and your Ethernet cable. The rest is simple.